Hello there, Shortcuts. Stephen here. I just had my first day ever record shopping in Tokyo. And I thought I'd record a video showing you what I got, which will make their way to various lists in the coming weeks and months. So I thought that might be fun. So I went to the Shinjuku region of Tokyo. Tomorrow I'm going to hit Shibuya, and I think it's called Odanbachi, but Shinjuku is where I started. So I went to 5 different stores. Pretty chaotic, cramped in places, particularly the little places that were kind of prog and jazz oriented were really cramped and kind of just hard to navigate. But I think I did okay. So I'm going to give you not everything that I got, but definitely some potted highlights of what's going to be making its way back to Australia. And so, yeah, anyway, here's some thoughts. So firstly, I managed to get 2 absolutely pristine Japanese first presses of AC/DC Back in Black, and I'm particularly happy with this AC/DC Highway to Hell. I've got those on my shelf, and they're hard to find, and they are in fantastic condition. One of the first things I found, so I was really pleased with that. This, I think, for those of you who were pursuing Sticky Fingers in last week's list, this is actually the ESS 63001 pressings. This is slightly later workings. It's really, really nice condition as well. So that's actually the copy of Sticky Fingers that I have. I also found 2, one in particular. This is a beautiful wall, like really, really great. This one's just slightly less good, but superb to get the Japanese first press of the wall. It is so hard to find in my usual matte fashion, but to get those 2, the only 2 I saw, and they were in really lovely condition as well. In fact, what's interesting about these shops is that you cannot check condition when you're flicking through the crates or the shelves, because they're all effectively sealed in these kind of plastic covers. And so what you do is you make a collection, and then you go to one of the assistants, and they open them for you and allow you to inspect. And so all of that happens after you've kind of gone through the crates to a certain extent. You can kind of set them aside in boxes, etc. So when I saw those couple of walls and AC/DC, I couldn't wait to rush them up to the counter and say, these are mine, because I know how good they are. Now this is one, I'm actually going to take this one out of the sleeve because I was blown away when I saw this on the shelf. This is the original Japanese first press of Atomic Rooster, made in England, and it's still in the material case. And you pull it out, you can see the Japanese in the back, but that's what the record looks like from inside the case. So I'm going to talk a lot more about this record when it makes its way onto the list, but you can see that beautiful label. It's just, yeah, there was someone who had this in their hands, and then they put it down and kind of moved away, and I wouldn't quite say I swooped, but it wasn't far off, because I wanted to grab this one, because I think A, it's a great record, but B, it's one of the more unique vinyl I don't know what you call it, cases. It's pretty cool. Now, you all know how much I love my soul and blues, so I've got some soul, blues, and jazz coming up. These were really cool. So 2 early Candy Staton records, including her debut, and then this one's called I'm Just a Prisoner. A little bit later on the Fame label, but again, really, really, really good. Very, very hard to find early Candy Staton. Oh, I was thrilled to find this. One of my all-time favorite blues records, John Lee Hooker, Travelin'. I think this is the P-Vine release, or maybe it's the VJ release, but it was in really good nick. As was this. Oh, lovely Obi gatefold of Beggar's Banquet. Arguably one of the great records. Now, there's one or two here. There's one in particular, I can't actually show you the sleeve. This is really hard to find. I've only had a couple of these over the years. Can't Buy a Thrill, the Steely Dan first record. Love the Japanese press of that record. So, yeah, really pleased to get that. Some Sad Cafe, and a really, really nice US Vol 4 with the booklet and everything intact. I was quite pleased to get that. And this is early European Dead Kennedys, fresh fruit for rotting vegetables. And it has like a little insert, like a poster type thing inside it as well. The Japanese first press of Gary Newman's first solo album. This is Snap, the Japanese first press of the Best of the Jam, and it includes the single, which is, there were a bunch of those, but that was the only one with the single. Then I got some funk for you guys. Bootsy Collins, and a really, really nice pressing of Cabbage Alley by the Meters. So those of you who missed out on the Meters recently, I was super happy to get that. And continue on a theme, Earl Hooker, 2 Dogs and a Roach, really, really cool blues record with Obi. And this, Soul is Bernard Pretty Purdy. Love this record, and that's the exact same kind of Flying Dutchman originals that I have. So that's wonderful. We'll talk more about that when the time comes. In terms of jazz, I thought jazz was really the hardest genre to kind of search in Japan, because there's a lot of crap, a lot. But I did find 2 gems. Now, this is one of my favorite jazz records, and I had it on the list yonks ago, and it was way too expensive. This will be much more affordable than the Natural Soul, Lou Donaldson. And this, look at this. The Time Is Right, Lou Donaldson, with Obi, Blue Mitchell, Lou Donaldson, Horace Parlan, Layman Jackson, Dave Bailey, and Ray Barretto from Fania Records on conga. Can you believe it? I've never heard of this record. Snapped that up as soon as I saw it. This is one I've been trying to get a really nice Japanese press of this where the sleeve isn't mounted for donkeys. So there we have Lark's Tongue in Aspect. Really nice Japanese pressing of that as well. I also managed to get, now there's one of these I literally cannot show you. I'm going to show you the name and maybe the top. So you can probably see the Scorpions Virgin Killer. I cannot show you the rest of that sleeve. That is one of the most controversial sleeves in the history of rock music. And that is the Japanese first press in fantastic condition. So for those of you who know what that is, hit me up. Let's have a chat about it. And then I also got some really, really nice rock and roll. So UFO, Force It, Dynasty, Kiss with Obi, the Best of Judas Priest with Obi, and a really nice thin class as well. Also grabbed a lovely Never Mind the Bollocks with Obi, which I've never seen. And then the only non-Japanese record I bought, other than one that I bought myself, it has a link, I'm just going to show you. Kikagako Moyo, one of my favorite Japanese psych rock bands. This is one of the few records of theirs that I don't have. It's called Kumoyo Island. So I found that. In fact, one of the guys found that for me, which was good. And then there's this. Now, this is the only non-Japanese that I bought for the club. I'm absolutely kind of bemused by this. It's a box. Queen's Greatest Hits 2, a Japanese box. So we're talking kind of Magic, Gaga, I Want It All, Innuendo, Breakthrough, Headlong, Miracle, Hammer to Fall, Show Must Go On, One Vision, etc. And it's still sealed. It's like, you remember those jazz Japanese D'Agostini boxes that I had probably, I don't know, 9 or 10 months ago? I kept a few of them myself. I kept the Drum Suite, Art Blakey, and one other, and they were really, really good. And it's one of those, still sealed. And then a couple of things that I grabbed for some people who had sent me lists. So there you have it. That was my first day's shopping. Yeah, kind of interesting, chaotic, just somewhat overwhelming on occasion, but also I'd say I'm quite happy with the records I get through my usual means. I mean, I didn't feel like I was wandering around today thinking that you all were missing out because of the way that I normally procure through the contacts I have in Shibuya, who I'm going to be meeting tomorrow. So, yeah. I think there's some of these that would be prohibitively expensive, though, in my usual method, which are now not going to be prohibitively expensive, especially if I can find a way to carry most of these home. So that will make a big difference, and I'll pass quite a lot of those savings on to you all. So anyway, for those of you who are kind of watching this wondering what the hell this is all about, I have a vinyl club in Australia, and the vast majority of these will make their way into that club. Price lists are produced weekly. I got one more day of shopping. I'm going to shop again tomorrow. I think tomorrow I will focus more and see what I can find in funk and blues and jazz as opposed to rock. Rock's easy. Rock's pretty easy. I did find some things today I've never seen before, and I managed to grab some great copies of great records that will make their way onto your shelves that I know are good, like The Wall and Sticky Fingers, etc. But and a few others. Whereas I'm going to spend tomorrow really kind of digging through the blues and funk and jazz crates just to see what I can turn up. Alrighty, there you have it. I hope that was interesting. As always, love to hear from you, and see you in a few weeks. Bye.